Howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. It's a great quote. Not really true, but it's a great quote. So Assange is in custody. What's going to happen? I'm not talking about his specific case. We know what's going to happen there. They're going to prosecute him. They're going to try him. They're going to convict him. They're going to sentence him. That's what's going to go down, barring something extremely bizarre. It's the federal system. They pretty much always get a conviction. It's trial by ambush. They don't have to really prove intent. The facts are fluid, for lack of a better word. He'll get convicted. But the thing is, sorry Julian, at the end of the day, it's not really that important in the grand scheme of things. What is important is what is being taught to the future whistleblowers of America. All of these recent incidents, Winter, Hammond, Kiriakou, Snowden, Manning, they all send the same message. The U.S. government, their big brother in 1984. And like Winston said, they get you. They always get you. So, what's the takeaway? You can't go to the press. The press cannot protect you. The methods for reporting information like this to Congress, they're lacking. Can't do an anonymous leak. All of these things end up with you in a cage. So if you run across information that you just cannot bear the moral weight caused by keeping it secret, what do you do? What is your option? There's only one. Out of those people, who's not in prison? You go to a foreign power. That's the option. That is the option. It's the only one left on the table because of how we've handled these cases. And that's pretty dangerous. Not for the politicians, of course, but for the assets and agents that are out there in the field. It's pretty dangerous for them. See, the U.S. press is very compliant with the United States intelligence community. They are. If the Washington Post gets a story, they get documents. The CIA comes to them and says, hey, we know you've got these documents. We understand you're going to run the story. We need you to obscure means and methods. They do it. Means and methods. In most cases, the what isn't really important. How is. What the secret is typically not that big of a deal. How the secret was obtained, or maybe the tactics and methods that were used that are described in the document, that's what's important. That's what you really have to secure. That's what's extremely important, because if you don't, people die. The U.S. media, they're Americans. They are Americans. And the U.S. intelligence community uses that, plays on that patriotism. We really need you to keep this secret. If you don't, this person will die. In the U.S. media, they typically do it. They typically do it. Protecting means and methods is something that people have gone to extreme lengths to do. That they will throw themselves on grenades, figuratively and literally. But see, now that they're going to end up going to a foreign power, that reporter, he doesn't have that patriotism. He does, but it's just not to the U.S. So if they go to Russia and the Russian intelligence service comes to them and says, hey, we need to see those documents, go, yes or no? And they hand it over. Then what? Those means and methods, they're out there. Some asset in Kabul dies. Some agent in Tashkent dies. Why? Because some junior representative wanted to make a headline and call for the execution of Snowden or whatever. Crime and punishment, get tough, law and order and all that. Except you don't actually care about that because you don't prosecute the illegal activity that's contained in the leaks. You just prosecute the leaker. So, those people who are overseas, who are literally living a double life, gathering intelligence for this country, those are going to be the people who die because, well, people were embarrassed by a leak. We need to set aside our desire for punishment when it comes to this. Most of the stuff that was leaked, there's very valid reasons for it. There were crimes, there were immoral activities contained in those leaks. But because the U.S. press is so compliant with the U.S. intelligence services, that's not the story. The story is that the secret got out. What is more likely to actually cause the death of U.S. servicemen? Is it the disclosure of waterboarding? Or is it the means and methods obtained from those reports? This will probably be a very defining battle in the counterintelligence wars, and the U.S. is going to lose it. We've already set this example. This is, everything I'm saying is after the fact. But we may want to keep this in mind for the next leak and the one after, because there will be more until the government starts behaving in a legal and moral manner. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.